Everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to take a look at a two-part unboxing. One is going to be from HK Parts. The other one is going to be from a place you guys may not be familiar with called Lee's Mags. Got an email from him, part of his little newsletter sign-up deal. I forget how long ago, but he had some semi-automatic AK trigger groups for $3.99 a piece. I thought that was a really good deal. So, you know, depending on how, if you guys do a build, depending on how you do it, if you want, as long as you stay within 922R compliance, you know, you can put things like that in there, but you've got to make sure your parts count is what it's supposed to be. I don't profess to offer you any legal advice in doing so. You guys have to research it and figure that out on your own. Now, additionally, I say all that to say, if you go back and reference my previous video on that HK, or not HK, but that MKE AP5P parts kit that I got. Obviously, it was just a parts kit. So what I purchased from HK Parts was one of those AP5K flats, as well as some other parts, the paddle bushing and some stock pin bushings and just all kinds of stuff. So anyway, I'll just run down through the list real quick before I tear this open. The flat itself was $239. The paddle bushings themselves were $9.89 each. I did get a HK 91 extended cocking handle for $64.95. Then you got your rear stock pin bushing weldments. I got two of those for $3.95 each. Semi shelf, I got that for $19.95. And then a semi shelf weldment for the metal grip housing. That cost me $14.95, and then there's also a the rear pushpin reinforcement weldment that was $19.95. So I just want to run down through that list real quick before I dove off into this. That way you guys have you have prices in mind while I'm going through this. Plus, you can always go back to the beginning of this video and reference it rather than me try to go off memory and figure out what in the crap I paid for what, because my memory stinks. And it's just easier to do that right off the bat. So let's take a look at these trigger semi-auto trigger groups that I got from Lee's Mags. Let's take a look at them, see what they look like. I imagine, whew, wow, that's a big thing of parts. That's a huge thing of parts. I ordered 6 of these, by the way. Let's just make sure everything's here. It's probably going to take me a minute. Let's see. It's all there. Cool. I do not know where these came from. I also do not know. They look brand new. They absolutely look brand new. Whoever made them. I mean, there is next to almost no wear on the hammer. I'm going to try to hold this up so you guys can see it. It may not focus. If it doesn't focus, my apologies. I will have to get I'll have to insert some pictures possibly. But these actually look pretty nice. I don't have a clue how good these are. You know, most often than not, when you, like, let's say for instance you get one of the Romanian trigger groups, the semi-automatic ones, they're usually missing the sleeve. That's the biggest gripe I see when a lot of people order stuff like this. But however, Lee included it with his. It's one of the reasons I bought this. But I got 6 of these sets, assemblies, whatever you want to call them, for the grand total, or not the grand total, but for $3.99 a piece. I don't know about you guys, but that's pretty stinking cheap. I don't think you can beat that, even if it's got a terrible pull to it. I mean, quite frankly, for just to have extra replacement parts, I don't think that's a bad idea. Like I said, just be aware of 922R compliance. If you have an AK pistol, then that's an entirely different matter. And you guys can read up on that kind of stuff. ATF has plenty of resources out there available on their website. So we're going to set this aside, and we're going to get into... So now we're going to get into that unboxing from HK Parts, just to take a look at what I got from them. Curious as to the quality, curious as to see how good their flats look. I know in the past, I've gotten most of mine from RTG. And sometimes they look better than they do at other times. I'm not really sure what the deal is with that, but I'm not overly worried about that. Let me flip this on its edge because I have no clue what to expect inside of this box. Okay, there's my invoice. Let's get that out of the way. So included in there was a HK Pro sticker. I'm assuming all my other parts are located inside of here. You know what? I think we'll just tear this. Well, we're just going to make a mess. Why not? Let's just make a mess out of it. Alright, so like I said, guys, if you've gotten one of the MKE AP5P kits, you're going to need a flat for it. I opted for a couple from KE Armory, as well as, which they don't have them anymore, as well as this one. I don't know how good it is, and I won't know until I build it, but I just wanted to give you guys potential sources for parts if you decide to embark on doing one of these yourselves. That is a little concerning right there, but I think it can be fixed. Notice how this is quite cracked from the forming process. It's actually cracked quite a bit. Now I know typically you'll weld right in here once you get your receiver in there, or get your barrel trunnion in there. I don't really know what to think about that. I may inquire to them about those cracks. Those seem awful large. But the rest of it looks really good. I mean, it's a nice looking flat, but gosh, I don't know about those cracks. That seems a little excessive there. I'll have to ask him about that. Of course, it did come with the kit, which is for your reinforcement plates, for your I forget what all's in there. Your sight base, all the stuff just to build that up. Comes nice and labeled in a bag. Additionally, I wanted to get this for a PTR 32 that I have. It's just the extended charging handle, just to allow you to more easily charge the weapon. And I'll have to show you guys that in another video. Tell you the story about it. I picked it up at a gun shop that I usually frequent, and I got a really good deal on it. So you'll see that in another unboxing, or another, I guess, review. Not necessarily an unboxing, but anyway, that is that extended latch. I think it's massive. Allows you to really easily charge the weapon. And of course, all the other piece parts that I told you guys about. All the different pins and bushings and weldment plates and all the other good stuff that you're going to need if you guys decide to embark on this crazy journey of building these kits. Now, all in all, the parts themselves, the weldment sets, the reinforcement plates, the bushings, it all looks really good. As a matter of fact, it's right on par with the same exact quality of what I've gotten from RTG parts in the past. So that's just something to keep in mind. Like I said, my only area of concern is this flat. That's That's one heck of a crack. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it goes almost to the ejection port here. So I may be reaching out to HK Parts Pro and asking them, hey guys, is this normal? Because this looks pretty bad. It's pretty concerning to me. I'm afraid, you know, when I go to form this, that it's probably going to snap. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to reach out to them about that. I'll have to keep you guys informed of what I hear back. They may say that's okay. They may not. I don't know. But just wanted to share that with you guys today. A couple places where you can get parts. You know, it's all according to what you're looking for. In this case, I was looking for an MP5 K sorry, I can't even talk. MP5K or AP5P flat, which is what we have here. Just this metal stamping. That's all it is. But anyway, just wanted to share this with you guys today. A couple places you may not have thought about where you can get parts, and just want to give a big thank you to my subscribers. Thank you guys for all your likes, your shares, your comments. If you guys have bought any of these in the past, let me know how yours look. I'm a little concerned about this one. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and until next time, you guys have a great day.